What's up, guys? Holy crap, Seattle. I don't know that it could have delivered any more excitement or better racing than it actually did. That was badass. I'm going to get into the JuJu versus Degan. I'm going to talk about Cole Davies. And yes, the 250s come first. I'll talk about the 450s tomorrow, but the 250s stole the night. You've got one more day to get your Nano-Xtreme sample. Use the link in the description, head over there, and they've got the sample packages set up. Choose which one you want, and you can get that out. But that expires tomorrow. March 31st is the last day of the Nano-Xtreme samples. Head over to Coach Rob's YouTube. He has all sorts of good content, interviews, everything you need from fitness advice to interviews with legends of the sport like Daniel Blair, Ryan Hughes, Jeremy Martin. So check out Coach Rob's YouTube.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
How about this kid from New Zealand, Cole Davies? Dang, he is something special. In the preseason kind of preview that Coach Rob and I did, we were talking about Cole Davies, and I thought he might get a podium, but he'd be, around a fifth place guy. I expected him to have a season kind of about like what Michael Mosiman's having. That's what I would have said if you asked me to predict before the season, which I did. That's what I said Cole Davies would do. But I didn't know he had the special talent that he has. Every once in a while, you get a guy that comes out and rides a dirt bike and they just look different. They don't look like everybody else. James Stewart, Jet Lawrence, they just do things differently. Not completely different, but what blows me away about Cole Davies is his balance. His balance on that bike is absolutely ridiculous. Skimming the whoops till the very end. I wish that if you've never got a chance and you go to a Supercross race, go down after the race is over, go down and get a real close look at the whoops and how gnarly they are. They get these holes in them, and in Seattle, they're rocks. How in the hell he skimmed them the entire race and didn't get kicked sideways or throw it away is beyond me. That is incredible bike skill and talent. So the way Cole Davies fought back in that main event, so the first few laps, Julien Beaumer got past him and it looked like, okay, well, they can battle and maybe I just hook up with Julien and we go away from the pack and maybe I can get myself another podium. That's the way most rookies think. Cole Davies doesn't think that way. He wants to win and believes he should win. It's a different level of athlete. The last time I saw that kind of self-belief was when Jet Lawrence was battling Dylan Ferrandis. Remember when he endoed and knocked himself out at Anaheim, his rookie season? That's the last time I saw that kind of self-belief that you should be winning right now. He's only 20 points out of the championship lead, and it could get weird if this battle between JuJu and Hayden Deegan explodes, which it very well could. I mean, this is literally a puddle of gasoline and they're like sparking sparks over it. It could really implode. They are getting to the level where they're getting right to that line, but they haven't crossed that line. As everyone booed Julien Beaumer in Seattle, come on. Are you serious? And don't give me this crap about him being a whiner. He's not a whiner. He has been taking these jabs from Hayden Deegan all year. Imagine being in junior high, you're walking down the hall, just minding your own business, and there's the cool kid behind you who keeps kind of kicking your foot. Well, that cool kid can't get pissed when this guy turns around and finally socks him. And that's what Julien did. He waited and waited and waited, and with the arrest, Julien took advantage of it. Now, don't tell me that he doxed him. What doxing is when you put somebody's personal information out on the internet. It was already out there. If they want to blame anybody for doxing them, talk to Verb Moto, Vital MX, who Michael Lindsay removes anything and everything from that forum that he doesn't like, and he left the address in there. So if you want to blame anybody for getting doxed, go ahead and talk to Verb Moto, Vital MX, and while Julien Beaumer should not have reposted it, it wasn't the end of the world. That was something that Hayden was looking to get mad. So the anger he took out on Beaumer was probably just because Verb Moto and Michael Lindsay aren't on the track and he can't hit them. Julian's the only one he gets a shot at. And please stop with this whole, Hayden Deegan's move was the same as Joe Shimoda's. It was not. Joe Shimoda's move on Hayden Deegan was aggressive. And yes, he probably has some hard feelings, but Joe Shimoda was racing in the heat of the moment. When they entered that turn, Joe Shimoda was right on him. When Hayden Deegan entered the turn on Julien Beaumer, he was way behind him. He went in there with one thing in mind. I'm going to smash Julien Beaumer. He didn't care if they both went down. He had that in his mind. He was so far behind. He was just like, I'm taking this opportunity no matter what. I don't care what the outcome. And then, you look at Joe Shimoda, bumps him and then races forward. Degan bumps him and looks back to make sure he knocked him down, which he didn't. And I'll tell you what, that is a horrible feeling. When you try and knock somebody down and you realize they're still there, it's kind of terrifying. Luckily, he had enough speed to get away from Julian. Julian would have demolished him if he could have got to him. But in these moments, the riders know the difference. People who've never raced or don't know, guys like Darren Lawrence, who just watch videos and pretend like they know stuff, to the naked eye, there's not much difference between what happened in the two incidents. But if you watch it really close and you look at the angles, imagine being in your car and you have a close call. Remember when everything goes in slow motion, you kind of like, oh, and it feels more magnified than it actually is. These guys that race Supercross live in that slow motion zone. They know exactly what they're doing when they hit people like this, and they know the difference between somebody trying to be aggressive and when somebody's trying to put you down. And those 2 inches, see how Hayden's bike is kind of a little bit more upright than Joe's? That's the difference with intent. These guys on the track know that. Even these guys, when they go back and watch the video, when they're not in that slow motion mode, they go, oh, well, it doesn't look as bad as it felt. In the moment, they know. They both know what was going on there. Hayden was trying to put him down. I don't think that was Joe's intent. He was just racing aggressive. He was just letting Hayden Deegan know, hey, I'm here, I'm racing, and you're not going to just go around me. He wasn't looking. He didn't have that ill intent that Hayden Deegan had, and both those guys know that. But that's part of racing. When you say stuff, when you do stuff, when you have a rival, these things happen. Everything out there, nothing needs to be legislated out. That was all fair game. And yeah, Julian should be pissed, and Deegan had every right to do it. But when you're racing for a championship, this could haunt you. As far as the off-track confrontation, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect. They went all the way up to that line and didn't cross it. I mean, maybe shouldn't have touched Deegan's helmet and Deegan shouldn't have slapped him, but it wasn't anything that could turn into a straight-up brawl on TV. I have to say, the self-control with these guys is far better than I've ever been able to show. Shoot, my brother and I got into a brawl at a go-kart race. My brother wins the race, passes Richie Hearn, IndyCar driver, with an aggressive move in the last lap. We get into a fight with a separate group of people on the way back to the pits because they bumped carts on the way back. It's ridiculous, but as somebody who's been heated in those emotional situations, I have not handled it as well as Hayden Deegan and Julian Beaumer did. If that was me down there, we'd have had a brawl on TV and it would have been really ugly and really bad for everybody, the sport. It wouldn't have went well. So I want to commend both those guys for doing, they did it perfectly. Touche, guys. Way to go. But I'll tell you what, with these two guys in, having a match battle out there, Cole Davies might get in there and win this whole thing. There's an East-West showdown next week. If Cole Davies were to win it and these two guys get into each other and finish 9th and 10th, he's right there. If he can get within 10 points heading into that final at Salt Lake City, we are looking at a different championship. And we might see the first rookie champion in this class since Trey Kennard in 2008. It's been 17 years, and it's a different era than it used to be. In an era where guys like RJ Hampshire, Jordan Smith, and these guys, to win a championship as a rookie is a task. Somebody's going to say, oh, well, Damon Bradshaw did it. Damon Bradshaw did it in an era when the guys spent 1 or 2 years in the 125 class and then went right to the premier class. They didn't even want to be there. They were there for just a split second until they could prove they could make it in the bigger class. Nowadays, it is more of a career class. It's a lot harder to do it as a rookie. Trey Kennard was kind of in the middle, but that was 17 years ago. If Cole Davies accomplishes that, this will be one of the biggest accomplishments that I've seen in a long, long time. Check out Ride Strapped, goggles, glasses, shirts, get your Red Pill shirt. Just a great company. Head over to ridestrapped.com and check them out. If you're shipping anything, use Precision Transport, a family-owned shipping company that believes in customer service, reasonable pricing. Hit up pretransport.com. How about Justin Starling out there getting in the main event with his Alias MX gear? This stuff is high quality, looks good. If you want some good gear, head over to aliasmx.com. How about my boy Garrett Marchbanks? Dang, he needed this so bad. After the way things ended at Club MX, it was not a good parting. To get on that pro circuit bike and have worse results than he had on the Club MX bike was not a good look. To get out there and battle, and he wasn't that far off of Cole Davies. He was charging to get a podium, Not a win, but a podium. Good for Garrett Marchbanks. He's one of my favorite guys. He's also from Utah, where I grew up. So yeah, I'm a little bit partial to Garrett Marchbanks. This dude can ride. He is so tired of me telling him this. I always tell him he need to be on a 450. But he's only 23 years old, and that's what he likes to remind me is he's still young. He's got plenty of time. He wants to get some stuff done in the 250 class before he goes to the 450. But with his size and his talent, I believe once he dedicates himself to that 450, Garrett Marchbanks will be a race winner and possibly a 450 champion. I'm that high on him as he moves to the bigger bike. People forget how talented he is. He is giving up 30, 40 pounds to these kids in that 250 class, and he's still battling with them. That takes serious corner speed, momentum, strength. The dude can ride. How about Joe Shimoda? I love seeing Joe out there fighting for his positions. He has had such a rough season. I mean, first he comes in, we're all down on him. We're like, Joe's going to start slow and then pick it up towards the end. That was been the knock on him. It was deserving, but it was kind of mean the way we all did this, myself included, in the offseason. Like, hey, can he get it going? He wins the opener, shuts us all up. Then he gets hit by a pit board. Are you serious? He got hit by a pit board, broke his hand. Then he proves how tough he is riding through it. Then he's got this deal with the agent in Wasserman threatening to have him deported if he stays with Lucas Myrtle after they set him up. This guy has been through it this year, and Joe Shimoda is a picture of character, loyalty, and toughness. There's not a lot of racers that I would look at and say, you know what? That's a good human being to look up to and tell my kids, because, they're good racers. I think they're great on the track, but like Ricky Carmichael, they're probably not great people. Joe Shimoda is a great person, and that's somebody, the world needs more Joe Shimodas. So I like seeing him go out there and fight for it. And man, I hope he can get back on that podium or maybe another win before this season's over. And how about Enzo Lopes? I don't even remember seeing him out there. He was 7th place. One thing about Enzo Lopes, the talent is there. His headspace and wherever he's at, that's always been the question with Enzo Lopes. He's a little bit older. Can he kind of rejuvenate his career? Can he get going again? Can he get back on that podium? Can he get a win? I think he can. Enzo's talented. He's one of those guys that, he has talent to be a consistent top guy in this sport. His mentality is what he's been lacking. And maybe with this extra years of maturity and, being away for a while, I would love to see the redemption story of Enzo Lopes and climb back up there and get back on that podium. And that Yamaha team that he's on, the Bar X Yamaha team that he's on, that's a good team and they got good equipment and he absolutely could get there. He looks healthy and I'm sure the 7th place and just getting through all the laps will really help his confidence. All right, members, you guys are all entered to win the Cooper Webb helmet. If anyone wants to be in that drawing, you have to sign up to be a member, not just a subscription. You can't just hit the subscribe button. You have to join the Cooksey Mob membership. It's $3 a month, but you have to enter before the end of the day tomorrow. I'm going to do the drawing on April 1st, and no, it won't be an April Fool's. I might even do it on the 2nd.